Good day, everyone, and welcome. Before we start, we have a disclosure. Please be aware of risk in the future trading. This is not a trading room. This is an educational room. You're very welcome to follow any of our automated trade as long as you are on a sim. We're not responsible for your trade. We strongly advise you to stay on a sim as long as needed before you go live with your money. This is a very serious matter and there is a high risk. The reason normally we start around 10 o'clock, I'm a little bit early to catch a trend for you guys. And if you want to follow any of our trades, you're very welcome, as long as you understand what's going on. We're not responsible for your trade, and you're welcome to trade it on the sim. Right here, right now, it is a short on the ES as we speak right now. There is a short on the ES, and that's why I tried to come 5 minutes earlier. I have seen a trade on the ES below that 39.1150, and right now at the projection, but it was a short right there at 1150, and then there is a pullback. So it's not too late to take a limited order sell position on the market. And always when the market goes back, you can always re-enter the market at 1150. If this market go above the 12, please hold, push your brakes. Do not take any trades at the moment until we see how this market, because this market, I mean, it was a really wild ride at 9:30. We're going up, straightforward up, and immediately the market, if you look at this bar, jump within millisecond all the way to the support area, and from the support area jumped also to, and it broke a major support area. It was 39.12. So right now, this is where the pullback re-entry on the ES, and then even if you are auto trading, whether you are using ours or somebody else, keep in your mind, keep your auto trade to the short position. Again, whatever auto trade you are using, whether it's from us or anybody else, try to stay on the short direction on your auto trade. On the left upper corner, this is the signal, and the signal pointing down, which on the high time frame is still up, which this is a really like what we have told you on the ES. There is a pullback at 39.12, and this one here you re-enter the market short, and this is the guys, whoever came in late can take the second trade short, a break even immediately on it. This is a very fast move in market. There is no time to think. You break even immediately. The most important at the ES, please mark it on your chart. You should stay, the ES has to stay below this number here, as you see, 39.1275. If this market crossed the 39.1275 on the ES, push your brakes on your auto trade, on your manual trade, until we see what's going on the ES. Once we find out what's going on the ES, we can predict the whole rest of the market. So on the left upper corner, you will find those signals. And as we see, there is sell, which I don't like. There is one thing I don't like, is the 30-year Treasury bond going in the same direction as the ES. But if we are looking at the higher time frame, the 10 minutes, the 30-year Treasury bond, it is to the sell position, which is going to bring the ES to a lot of volatility today. On the right upper corner, it is the market analyzer. They're all based on one lot. And on this one here, it is a scalping on a 15-second, which we had a beautiful ride on the NASDAQ and nailed almost $1,000. And now we are going for the second round on the scalper. I like the scalper because they can really catch a trend, and then from that trend, we can go on that. And this is the scalper. We use the wide charts. And then we have modified a re-entry position, which we will update you guys once we are done, because we are updating the whole package. We are updating everything on the system. As you notice, folks, please, this is very important. for your own safety, for your own money. Maybe you have some kind of other tools on your chart is giving you now reversal. There is no reversal on the ES. It is your key 39.12, 39.12 or 39.11.75. Short, 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 short. There is no long. If we cross the 39.12.75, push a break on every single chart you have on the ES. This is a really, really, the market is fast and is just about to break down, just about to break down, and we are at the key level. We are going up and down, and this is very obvious, guys. Look at this. The market was going well at 9:30, very good, and then the market dropped at the support area, and then finally penetrate the support area. It is a major support area, trying to go down. We got this projection coming back to this area, and this is a crucial area here. This is a two direction on the ES. One thing on the ES right now, it is very important to stay below the 39.12. As you see right now on the ES, went back to the re-entry point at 39.12.75. Look at it. It's right at the dot, right the wick. I don't know if you can see the wick on the YouTube, but the wick is right there. By the way, if you have a blurry screen, you can go at the there is a on the YouTube, there is something called setting at your bottom right corner of your YouTube, and you can set a higher resolution on your YouTube. Some of you, I find out they don't know about that, so you will have a crystal clear picture what's going on in the market. So the 39.12.75, this is normally it plots automatically on the charts for you. The same on the Russell, Nasdaq, Dow Jones, and those, it is very important, is giving you the re-entry. And look at this. This is gorgeous. This is a beauty, because it's always keep telling you where is the level short and where is the entry short, despite if you are auto trading or you took a trade on the Nasdaq, like what happened with the scalper. You hit your target, you locked some profit, and you still have an appetite for trade. This is a don't need a brainer, don't need a MACDs, don't need anything, don't need anyone to call a trade for you. If you look, it is a plot automatically on your chart, and then once the market come back to this level, it is a re-entry. Most of the time it is a genuine re-entry. If this market is over and might cross this number, I mean, it cannot be permanently below that number all day long. This is wrong thinking. But if you look at the ES when the market pulled back and it dropped, folks, look at this. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. So this is an accurate re-entry number, and it does not require any brainer or any does not require any an experienced trader to identify as the number and telling you to re-enter short. However, let me explain to you what will happen. It is very important to stay below the 39.12, and if this market manage to break the 39.12 up again, we are not out of the short. This is the key for the short, and we're gonna bump in for one more problem on the re-entry short is 39.15.75. I'm giving it to you to the take, gentlemen. So in case if this market pulled back, this is your next step for a re-entry short. This is the entry. If we look at the Nasdaq, we have the re-entry on the Nasdaq. All of them, they are calculated tick by tick. As we look at the Nasdaq, there is a resistance area at the 7:12, and here is where it's telling you short, because there is a resistance line. So when we take in a re-entry short at this area here, this is how to say it is, your trade is much more protected, and your chances on making a good winning trade is 8 out of 10. When you don't understand those, then sometimes you are in a trade and probably your chances decrease to 2 out of 10. So there is some places on the chart you can increase your trade, and there is some places it's a very high risk to take a trade, whether you are using auto trade or a manual trade. So this is a very clear, and it does not require for a guy to be an excellent trader or a professional trader. You need to learn. You need to learn where are the keys today in the market. And once we set the keys, once we can split the charts to three pieces, we can set our goals for today, and then we can understand when this auto trade taking a signal where we are going with that trade and where is the probability we can maximize our profit. It takes, gentlemen, it takes a few weeks to get your brain around it, and there is no way out of it. But once you start getting with those rules, once you start understand what this market telling you, you will have a pleasant sitting behind the screen and start nailing the market. We cannot decide when we're gonna be taking a trade. The market allowed us, telling us when we are allowed to take a trade and when it is the right time to take a trade. It's not an optimization. It's 9:45 to 10 o'clock. You cannot be. Today, the Nasdaq could drop within seconds, as we see here, and on the scalper hit $1,000 in seconds, and it was sideways after that. So we do not decide when we need to. We cannot optimize. We cannot optimize in auto trade whether to trade 9:35 or 9:45. After we do the optimization, which I will show that some other days, then we can see where is the probability after the optimization that this auto trade, like the scalper, when we did this in the room, we find out like it's the best time, because most of those days, within 30 or 60 or 90 days, tells you the optimization. Most likely, if you start at 10 o'clock, not 9:30, not 9:15, most likely at 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock. And it was surprising. It was the last 2 hours in the market. This is where the high time on the scalper, where on the TI7, it was a total different story on the TI7. It depends on the algorithm you have on the auto trade. So this is really important to understand the timing. But beside this timing and optimization, we can see it is very clear, because it is very important when you are auto trading. We don't want to start the auto trade blind, because we want to go around, kick the tires, check up the water, the oil, the tires before you go on a trip with your car. And when we start here in the morning at 9:30, you don't need to jump on a trade immediately at 9:30, because there is a lot of turbulence at 9:30. And it's like when you are taking off with an airplane, you have a seat belt, and then when the airplane level out and then start going on the destination, then you can take your seat belt off. And it is the same thing here. At 9:30, it's like an airplane taking off, and it can go left and right. And this is a very turbulence in the market when you start at 9:30, because the market is trying to find a direction, short or long. And we don't want it to get into it if we don't have the eye for it. We don't need to jump on a very fast market. We can wait till 9:45, 9:50 until this market start taking direction, and then we can decide and we can make a plan how we are going to take a trade. And as we look right now, after I explain to you within 5 minutes, now you have changed your thinking about the ES. And now whatever you have on your chart, whether it's from us or somebody else, is irrelevant. Or in that matter, if you are auto trading, now after we had what we have explained to you, after we have showed you this line, after we have told you that the ES, the secret number right now, the high number it is, the key number on the ES is 3912. It's easy, whether we are auto trading or manual trading. This is the key for that ES. So now we can look at this market in a different attitude, And if we want to auto trade, now we understand as long as we are under 39.12, we can direct any auto trade to go short or long, you know. Or if we, in that matter, once you start get used to it, you will know this is where most likely the market is gonna stay below. If you want it, I will show you right now. If we look at the Nasdaq, you can see at the Nasdaq coming at 13709. And if we look at the wig, and that it is showing how accurate the system is irrelevant if somebody can read it or not. I mean, if he cannot read it, I mean, I cannot help it, but it is very obvious right in front of you how the system is accurate and how it is very technical. And this is where we understand the Nasdaq came into this line. It is telling us this is where the short trade is followed by a resistance line. If we want to take a short trade here, your success in that trade is much higher than a losing trade. And if this market decide to go up, your stop loss is a very limited how short it is. Now, if we notice on the Nasdaq is trying to break that area, and the ES is trying. Once this market break those level here, all hands off. Once this market break that level, all hands off. That's mean you cannot trade anymore. And this is a really, forget the P&L, forget how much you can make a day. Forget if you have on your mind to make $100 or $1,000 a day. In order to get to this bridge and cross it, we have to understand what's going on. And I want to show today, I want to concentrate on just giving you free information for your own safety. Watch this market. If once this market go above those lines here, you cannot trade this market anymore, because it's going into different direction right now, and it cannot be traded. Look at the ES and look at the Nasdaq where those numbers are, and look where this ES and Nasdaq has stopped. This is not an accident. We've been doing this for the last 3 years on a YouTube. I mean, for an unprofessional guy, maybe he doesn't know what is this, so he thinks it's rubbish. But for a guy who's been around, he said, this is something. So it depends where you put this piece of glass. Somebody can see it a glass, somebody can see a diamond, and this is life. We cannot do anything about it anymore. But if we notice right now, the market is going into this level, and if this market go up, does not mean we are out of the wood, because as we said, if this market, if we notice on the ES, this was a resistance line, and the market had dropped to the projection and kept going back and forth, and the resistance was holding. Right now, if we look at this market, it's playing around the key number on the ES, and it is playing the same key number on the Nasdaq. And this is not accident, folks. It's been like this. You can go to any single video on a YouTube, you will find the same thing. Sometimes it fell like anything else in this life. We all fail sometimes. But it is extremely accurate. Even if you are auto trading, this is a direction for auto trading to say to stay short or long, and that it is makes a lot of difference on your trade. As I said, guys, if we can avoid $200 a day, one lousy losing trade, if we can avoid one losing trade a day, one losing trade, an average trade for any retailer is between $150 to $200 on 2 contracts. So if we can avoid one lousy losing trade a day, that is $50,000 a year, folks. And this is not a matter of a joke. This is really important to understand the high risk in the market and understand how the market moves before we can do anything with it. Because if you don't understand your corners or your destination on the ES or on the YM or on the Nasdaq, then your chances are very weak to have a success. So if we are auto trading, and we have not seen that key as an example, and the auto trade trying to go long, and we can see only short at the moment, So you will have, doesn't matter where this auto trade coming from, whether it's ours or somebody else, that it is costly on yours is $200. And this is not pleasant to start the first trade at 9:30 with a couple $100 losses. It's not pleasant. It doesn't feel good. So as we see right now, the ES is holding at that number, and I'm trying to show you also on the Nasdaq. So this is not a coincidence. They are sitting on that because those are keys. Once we understand our keys, once we understand where we are going with the ES, then we can easily auto trade, and you can use any kind of auto trade, and then you can control the auto trade. And this is because you know what's going on, but you do not let an auto trade turn loose in the market and knowing if you are in a dangerous area or not. So a lot of talk about on the internet, does auto trade work or does not work? A lot of people say it does work, and some people don't. In my opinion, auto trades, they are like a silver bullet. Half of it is the auto trade, and the other half is the trader. When you combine the trader with the auto trade, you have a silver bullet. Auto trade by itself, optimization by itself, as I showed you on Friday, we have a couple system. If you put your finger on it and you optimize it, you collapse the system because it's based on ticks and reversals and everything. You cannot optimize it. So educated with auto trade, it is beautiful. Auto trade by itself, not knowing how the market works, you're hitting a disaster. And it's no longer in 2021. You can eyeball the market and take a trade manually, not unless if you've been around for many years, many years. So because the market got fast, complex, much more than 10 years ago, and the prices has smoothed out. So right now we are at those level here where, as I said, all breaks, you should not touch this market anymore. We broke those level, and we are at the resistance at 39.1575. Is an untouchable. The only thing you can do, this is here a short trade, high risk on the ES, but in this area, there is always in the chart, whether you are trading Nasdaq, CL, Dow Jones, it doesn't matter. There is a certain area, it's a really nasty area, and you should not tangle with it. As we look at the Nasdaq, it's coming to heavy resistance, projections, and you name it. It is a very nasty area here. And that you don't want to deal with it. You don't want to jump into big pile of mud in here. Here, you need to stay away from it because this is become very close, the resistance or the support sometimes, that you no longer can see which one is going to kick back from that line. So once you see this mess, you need to move in, or you need to move to another instruments until we have a clearance to take a trade. And on the Nasdaq, there is no long. If we look where we can simplify it as a walls, just nothing but walls. If we want to take the Nasdaq long, despite your normal indicators, whatever those are, there is not in the clear to take a long until we cross the 72825, gentlemen. Below that, there is no way you can go long on the Nasdaq. There is no way. Because it requires a lot of momentum, to require a lot of strong trend to break every single line in here. And the market is not strong enough to penetrate all those walls, break those walls and keep going up. So for the safety of your trade, the safety of your auto trade, whatever that auto trade coming from, is irrelevant. is whether you are using our auto trade or somebody else auto trade, is the same problem on the Nasdaq, is irrelevant. So it does not mean if Tom is manual trading and you are auto trading, your auto trade is going to penetrate all those lines because you have an auto trade. Your auto trade is going to stop like Tom or Mike is manual trading. This is fact. We cannot change that. If we look at the EAS and you go back to the video when we first started today at 10 o'clock, and this was 20 minutes ago, and when we were playing and talking about this area here, and I told you, go back to this video, if we are going to break this area, it's going to be another re-entry in here, and it is a high-risk entry. Go back to the video. So when we are looking at the chart, we already have found our destination for today, and where is the probability this market get projection. And this is really, once you start analyzing the market for 5 minutes, as I said on a YouTube a couple of weeks ago, if we just look, whatever system you have there, I have no bread with you. Whatever indicators you have on your chart is irrelevant. What I'm trying to tell you, whatever system you have is very fine. Whatever is making you happy on that chart is very fine. Just look at your chart for 5 minutes and check up the pressure in the market. That's all what I'm asking you to do. Look at your chart for 5 minutes. Watch the ES. The ES, it is the best signal in the house. It's going to tell you most likely what is going to happen on NASDAQ and Dow Jones and everything. Just look at the ES for 5 minutes and whatever instruments, I'm not telling you to use our system, whatever instruments you have, just watch this bar for 5 minutes every day. Let your eye get trained to see what's going on. I can sit down and explain it every day what's going on. But when you do it by yourself, and once you start to understand how the ES for that day is working, and we know how to cut it in pieces, and then now we can auto trade, or we can manual trade, or we can do whatever we want. So when we came in this morning, we knew where is the entry short. It came into the projection, kept going down. The trend was not strong enough. Flirt with that number, got projected from that number, and from the first minute we came into this live webinar, we predicted every single point in it. So this is really important in the trading, and I've been screaming my head off for guys to be educated on this, because this is your basic, and if you don't understand the basic, it's going to be hard on you, and it's going to be hard on your money. It's for your own safety, folks. It's not for me. So if we notice right now, now we can see what we were predicting was right. And if you go back to this video, we planted the ES as we said, and the ES responded for what we said. And there is no long. So if we look at this chart on the ES, when we are just dependent on some kind of indicators, by this time, when you are missing the keys in the market, and by this time, all your indicators pointing long. And this is 90% of the traders, they are making mistakes, and they are following indicators, and the indicators following the bar. So you are trading the future. You are trading the future. You want to predict the future, where your indicators is responding on your previous bar, is responding in the past, is not responding in the future. So when you are auto trading and you are using indicators, it doesn't matter where. All those elements, they are based on the past bars. They are not predicting anything. Now, when we can combine a couple of three indicators together, we do the proper training, maybe we can predict it, but we cannot predict all of it. But when you are trying to find your keys for today, your price level, your projection, your support, your resistance, when we can break the chart to 3-4 pieces, this is when you start see the market talking to you and telling you where I'm having a problem, where most likely I'm going, and the market will start talking to you. When the market does not talk to you, you're out of it. And all those numbers, they become irrelevant to an amateur trader, and he will never make it. So when we look at this market for 5 minutes in the morning, day after day, this market will start telling you what's going on. You start understanding the market movement, and you probably can predict what's going on in the market. And this is what it is. Your profit is based on a prediction, not on the previous bars. You are trading futures. And that it is a scary part when you are totally relying on an indicator following the trend. Is not doing anything. It's just following the trend. When the market goes up, it tells you the market going up. And when the market goes down, it tells you the market is going down. So it is based on the past, and you trade in future. And that it is a scary part when a trader cannot comprehend that. And then what he does, he go to the auto trade, any auto trade. I'm not talking about any kind of auto trade. And then he bump in to another problem because he's still dismissing to read the market. And if you don't read the market, you're not going to get anywhere. Simple as that. So every morning we try to come in here trying to show you where is this problem in the market and how you're going to deal with it. And then once we understand, until right now, there is no long in the market. Until right now, there is no long in the market. And now this market is really going now between 39.15 and going to this projection 39.10. Here is the secret in the ES, because a lot of people say it's an institutional and it's no longer, I can trade it manually, I need an auto trade. Yeah, it's true. It's very true. But also you need to direct that auto trade. The auto trade can take long and short, but also we have to, once you start getting comfortable, this is around 5 points between those two here. And this is perfect for a scalping. Whether you are, and it is a perfect for a manual scalping actually. Not an auto trade, because maybe an auto trade might go long. I don't know, depends on the algorithm you have on the auto trade. But this is a perfect places to start scalping if you have a light-handed. I mean, if we look at this market, it's become obvious. This is holding the 39.10, and then a day after day, let's say tomorrow when you come in the morning, and you say, I have seen 39.10 yesterday, had a problem. Like now, you see. So now the numbers, they start lighten your ball in your head, and now the numbers become relevant to your head. It is very important in the morning to start whatever system you have to look at the bars and the numbers, because when we don't want to keep looking at the P&L. We want to look at numbers. So when we are looking at this number today, now it's 10:32. We have a problem with 39.10. When tomorrow come and reappear this number 39.10, you are familiar with that number. You are familiar with that number because you dealt with it yesterday or a day before yesterday. A day after day, those numbers, they start talking to you. Those numbers, they start have meaning. And once you start communicating with those numbers and recognize those numbers, this is the first bigger step for you in the trading industry, not the P&L. Try to avoid your eye with the PNL. Today you make 100, tomorrow you lose 100. The secret in the PNL is to stay consistent and not go negative. If I want to make $1,000 today and I only made $10, I'm still happy with $10 because I did not go negative. It's a survival place not to go negative. This is your priority until you get stability in your trade, and then you can start setting your P&L in a modest way, and then you work your way up with it. So put the P&L on the side, and you need to say, I just don't want to be in red today with my account. I want it to be, if I get a break even, I'm happy. Then later will come in the P&L. As I said, when you get married, you go on a honeymoon, you enjoy life, and then you have kids, and then you have start dealing with diapers and everything. In this market here is the opposite direction. You start with diapers, and then you end up in a honeymoon once you do your time on it. It's the opposite direction. When you get married, you go on a honeymoon, then you deal with a bunch of kids, and then it goes down. But here it is a start down, and then once you work with it, to start going up and then the more you work around the market, your honeymoon, it will be closer to you. And the more you dismiss working with the market, your honeymoon is going to be much farther than you think, much farther than you think. So it pays off to look at the market and say, I don't care. I don't want to make $100 today. I don't want to make $1,000 today. I just want to survive it without going red. I want to know, where is my destination? Where is my destination? Where is the problem on the market? And then I will try to deal with it, because that is a problem on the ES. That is a problem on the ES, is going to the resistance at 1175 and coming to 909. That is a problem. And I need to survive that. I'm not in a desperate to take a trade, and if I cannot find a trade, I will skip it. Not every day you can find a trade sometimes. Sometimes when you come into the market is trending and there is plenty trades to take. It's like a buffet table. All the ticks you can eat for $9.95. And you're going to have some days like now, which the market, which has been the last 2 weeks, a very hard market. The last 2 weeks, the market, the volatility is sometimes get stuck, and nothing we can do about it. And that, welcome to trading. It's not about your skill. It's not about you being smart. It's not about your auto trade, but you will have, it is part of the trading, you will have sometimes a week or two the market with a volatility, and it cannot produce any ticks for you. And this is very normal. You should not think there is something wrong with your mentality or your brain, but the market sometimes it gets stuck, and when the market gets stuck and there is nothing to trade, then we need to sit on the side. If we look at the ES from 9:30 until now, this market is not trending, gentlemen. This market is not trending. At 9:30, the market trended. It did a beautiful spike. But if we look in the reality right now, you can see from 9:51 until now, the market is sitting on idle, and there is no ticks to be made. Whether you are a professional trader or an amateur trader is irrelevant. If we look at the market analyzer, they're all in red. All of them in red. And does not mean there is something wrong. No. They're all in red because there is volatility in the market. There is no direction in the market. And that can cause confusion in all around the market until this market start trending, and you will see the market analyzer start turning to green again. And here it is. How are you gonna make an ES in the green when the ES is not moving? How are you gonna get ticks out of the ES when the ES is not moving? It's going back and forth like a tango dance, couple of bars down forward, couple of bars backward. And how are you gonna make money with it? It's impossible. So again, guys, uh, trading is not just a crystal ball and it's gonna just make ticks for you. Trading it is when the market is trending, when there is a ticks to be made, ticks to be made, and on those days you have to go on a full speed, full throttle with the trading when the market is trending, because it could be the second day it's gonna be a slow day, and now it's been for the last 2 weeks. The market spike a few minutes and then dies out on us and that it is normal for the market until some direction happens. So nothing we can do about it, and this is part of the trading. It's not whatever your system coming from. You should not attack the system here is coming from. You should not attack Ninja Trader. You should not attack your broker. But this is reality in the trading. You're gonna have a good days, bad days, hard days, easy days. Sometimes you make $1,000 in 30 seconds, and sometimes you can sit down on a trade all day long on an ES with a couple ticks profit, and nothing you can do about it because you don't have an inventory. You cannot move the market because you have one lousy ES or two lousy ES. You're not a market mover. You just renting this ES from the same guy who moves the market, and you gotta deliver that ES you rented back to him. So you are just renting the ES. So it's like when you rent a car. So right now we need to see that ES start breaking the 39.15 so we can look for a long trade. As long as we are in this area here, there is no long trade. There is no long trade in those area here. Until this market break those area, then once we break all those area, then it will become a long trade. As we have said on the NASDAQ, once this market break that area here, now we start, if we look, now it is in the clear, and now we can, once this market break that area here, now we are in the clear to take a long trade. As long as this market gets stuck in those big, messy, big pile of mud in here, support, resistance, resistance, support, support, resistance, this is not good. This is not good for trading. This is not good for your auto trade. This is not good for your manual trade. And that is not good for your mental trading, because this is a very aggravation and can bring any big man down in the trading. It's not just you. This one here, you need a headache pills, you know. So I don't want to sit down and dance with the bar here and tangle with the bar, because you can get a headache with it. We wait till this market confirm long, pull back re-entry, and we take it. As long as this ES, gentlemen, is on this resistant area, is followed by a really harsh area here, don't expect this market to go anywhere until this ES gets into the clear. And right now it is not in the clear. Absolutely is not in the clear. And the NASDAQ sometimes separate from the ES and move on. But when the NASDAQ came into critical area, it waits on the ES to see if this ES gonna move or break that critical key area. And this is where a lot of people avoid to see that. When you want to trade the NASDAQ or you want to auto trade the NASDAQ, you need to keep your eye on the ES. Even in the morning when we are looking at the DAX, we keep our eye on the ES, because the ES can give us an early prediction for the DAX. And there are one in the left and one is one country and the other one is in another country. But still the ES has an impact on the DAX in the morning. When you are trading in a German time, you will find out the ES can predict for you the DAX milliseconds ahead of time. Another secret in the trading, the gold. The gold is always good before the market open. When you are trading the DAX, you don't want to deal with the ES, but you need to look at the ES. But when you are trading the DAX on the European time, you can trade the CL. There is beautiful waves on the CL when you are trading the DAX. Actually, there is more profit on the CL when you are trading the DAX in the European hours, better than when the markets open in the in US. You can find a beautiful trade on the CL. All those knowledge you will start getting built, and you start understand what to do and when to do it. You do not just turn on an auto trade and you think everything is gonna be, magic. Another things, we provide scalper swing trading, normal automated trading. And sometimes you hear somebody saying, I don't need all those. Yes, you do. Because right now in 2021, you cannot trade one size shoes fits all. You cannot take one algorithm in 2021. It's got very complex. The trading got very complex. You cannot just take one slice of auto trade and wag all the instruments with it, and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is the same. No, it's not. Because the first things you say to the trader, do not trade Sunday evening. Do not auto trade Sunday evening. And we can see from the licensing, half of those guys, they turn on the auto trades, because every auto trade has a number, and we can see that number auto trade. If he's using a scalper or TI7, we can see that. And we can see this guy is auto trading. I don't see on your computer, but I can see he has activated his license, and he is trading the scalper, or he's trading the TI7, or he's trading the signal. I can see that on the server. And I do that every Sunday evening. And we kept saying for the last few years, do not trade on Sunday when the market is open. Why you should not trade on Sunday? Why you should not start any auto trade, whether it's from us or some, because the volume, now the Nasdaq start breaking out. Keep your eye on the ES, and this is a very nice, now we can see once this Nasdaq break that area, we are in the clearance on the Nasdaq, and now the Nasdaq is tradable above that number long. You remember, if you go back to the video, I told you once we cross this one here, it is going to be long. And keep your eye on the ES. Why? Because if this ES not able to break this area, the Nasdaq is gonna go few bars up and it's gonna drop again. He's not gonna fly. So be careful. Keep your eye on the ES in conjunction with the Nasdaq. If you want to take that trade long, you have to be fast. You have to be on a sim. We're not responsible for your trade. And you need to break even as soon as possible, because now start taking off. You need to start breaking even as soon as possible, and try to be very close to immediately shut down the trade if the market sink, because on the Nasdaq now we're about to go long. We're about to go long, and the ES is not responding. The ES got stuck on 39.15.75. And if this ES is not going to break the 39.15, the ES is going to go 1 bar, 2 bar. Everybody going to jump on the wagon, and it's going to collapse immediately back to this area here at 724.75. And that trick, a lot of traders, 97% of the traders, they fell in it. So now if we look at this one here, this market is start taking off. It is a good one, is a valid, but if I want to take that trade, I need to keep my eye on the ES, because the key right now is 39.15.75. If this ES not able to break the 39.15.75, your ES trade is going to collapse immediately to the 723. So we predicted before it happened that this is a lift off on the Nasdaq with cautious. It's a lift off, but with cautious, and we predicted before it happened. As a future trader, you have to predict it before it happened, because when it happened now, it's too late to get into the trade. Now, if we look here, if we look at the ES, gentlemen, Trading is an art. Trading is an art. Trading is not for negative people. Trading is not for somebody confused. Trading is beautiful art. And if you don't have, you don't, if you don't want to respond with it, then it's sad, you know. So now the signal came in on the Nasdaq, but look, the auto trade took it from here because now the new signal came out. But I told you to come in and take that trade from here. So we were earlier than the auto trade, and look at this. Look at this. Because now, after we have explained to you, now you start understand this trade might not do any good if this ES fell to break that 15 level. If this ES break that 15 level, has nothing to do with your auto trade anymore. If this ES will break that level, you have $1,000 trade on the Nasdaq. If this ES is not, it's not about your auto trade. Doesn't matter where your auto trade from. If this ES is not gonna break that area, you're gonna go down with that trade. And if the market, if the ES break that area, you are on $1,000. This is the fact, whether you are auto trading or manual trading, and you cannot change the fact on the market. And keep your eye on the ES, folks, and keep your eye on the Nasdaq. Everything we say, go back to the video and confirm what we have said. What we have explained to you here, we explained it half an hour before it happened. Now, you're not out of the wood. You're not out of the wood. We're coming to another problem, is 2917. In those cases, we do not just look at the kitchen window waiting on the dollar to fall from heaven. What we need to do, break down immediately on it and break even immediately on it, because I can predict there is a problem we are coming into, which the ES is coming to the next level, 39.17. The next level after is 39.20. And you need to measure your profit in conjunction with your ES. You don't just take a trade, oh, I want to make $1,000 today. Oh, God, you know. No, you cannot do it. You will not make $1,000, sir. Look at your chart. You will not make $500 on the Nasdaq. Look at your chart, not your auto trade P&L. So you are looking left, and the market is going right. So as we see here, the Nasdaq went very good. The market crossed. Immediately we have seen it on the Nasdaq, and we came into another bumper, is the 39. So that's why when you see a lot of lines close to each other, when you see a lot of lines close to each other in the morning and above and below, go make yourself a coffee. Keep your eye off the computer until this market have a clearance. Once this market have a clearance, you can go through it. So if I want to get up in the morning and I want to trade the ES, and I still see a couple lines above this ES and couple lines below, I will wait. I will wait 10 minutes, 15 minutes before I start the auto trade. Again, we predicted to be on the support area, and the market will fall on the support area, and it did on the Nasdaq. And now the ES is trying to break the 39.15 one more time, and it's gonna go head to head with the 917.50. If this market goes and across the 917.50, then you will have a winner all the way up to the target 1 and target 2 institutional numbers. So we understood the first breakout. We understood the fell coming back to the support area We understood that, and now is responding on the key level on the ES, and which it is 39.1575. If this ES break, the next level is 17. So when we are taking a profit in here, we keep our eye on here, not the P&L. The P&L is irrelevant to your trading. It is where is the keys and where we can maximize the trade, folks. And that maybe to you is complicated, but it's not. It is require to not be distracted by the P&L and try to understand where you are in the market, and that it is. Look at this, gentlemen. This is then the same number. So now we all recognize the 39.1575 because we have mentioned it today 10 times. Tomorrow when you are trading, you see the 39.1575. I remember from yesterday. That's when the markets start talking to you. They start telling you what's going on. Because now there is a communication between you and your chart. You don't need a third party. You don't need me. You don't need to pay anyone. You don't need to waste your money on anyone, put you in a room and take your money. You can do it yourself. You can develop your own trading. When you develop your own trading, nobody can take it away from you. And you can be alone and manage auto trades, manage ATMs, strategies. You can do it by yourself. That guy is taking your money, is not smarter than you, trust me. So we understand what's going on right now, and we are on a standby. Folks, I really dried out, and I'm gonna fresh my coffee. I have a glass of water, and we're gonna kill the microphone for a few seconds, and I wanna talk to you about Mondays, Tuesday, how to look at the market Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Thank you. I was talking to you about auto trading. On auto trade, I don't know if there is a sound. As I said, sometimes we see, like on Sunday evening, somebody is using a scalper, somebody is using the TI7, somebody is using the signal. We can see from the license number. And we have said many times in the trading room that you should not use energy in the market when it's not necessarily. Honestly, you should not worn yourself down when it's not important to look at the market. If you want to do training, that's another matter. If you are on a sim, but when you should not thinking about auto trading on Sunday evening when the market open, because first of all there is no volume, and the market has to digest all those news over the weekend and find a direction on Monday morning to react to it. So you should not do that. And on Monday, I mean, whatever you do on Sunday, stay away from trading, period. Come on Monday morning at 9:30. Now, you have to understand also in the market there is seasons, there is timing. It is very important. You cannot ignore it because you have an auto trade. Like on Monday, you cannot swing the market on Monday. You need to scalp it. You wait 9:30. You wait till 9:45, 9:50. And I'm talking in general. So whether you are using our system or another somebody else's system is the same. It does not matter if you are auto trading our system on Sunday and somebody else is auto trading somebody else auto trade. It means he's gonna do well and this guy is not gonna do well. They're both not gonna do well. Because it's the fact. Not because you're auto trade, because it's the fact. And you have to listen when people telling you how and where you need to do it. On Monday, normally it is a scalping, gentlemen. It is a scalping on Monday. Normally, on Monday it is a scalping. It gets hot on Tuesday, and this is where you can start swinging and taking a good trade. And doing this week, Wednesday is a great day for a CL. Thursday is a great day for swinging. Friday is an early trade. It's not 9:30 on a Friday. You have to come into the market before 9:30 and start taking your trades on a Friday. If you cannot get up in the morning on a Friday, you skip the 9:30 on a Friday if you don't want to do it. And you start trading around 1 o'clock, 1:30 Eastern time is a great timing for scalping. Or if you've been around the market, you can take one direction on a Friday, because normally on a Friday after 1:30 all those amateur traders go home. The market start taking one direction, either long or short. So you have to understand there is timing in the market when, and it is the most important element in the trading, in the whole trading industry. It's not your auto trade. It is as much as the timing when to enter the market, what time you can enter the market, and what kind of auto trade you can auto trade the market depends on the time and the day. In 2021, you cannot take one auto trade, take an ES, NASDAQ, Dow Jones, CL, DAX, 6E, whatever, euro dollar, treasury bond, and you think you're going to wave with it. So in 2021, you need different tools for a different timing and a different movement in the market. You have all the tools. I mean, it is not a pleasure for us to have around 10 auto trades in our package, because it is a nightmare updating with 10 auto trade and keep everything and maintain 10 auto trade is a nightmare. But we have to, because I cannot just take one auto trade and bang on the market on every single instrument with the same strategy and the same time frame, and to make it even more miserable for me, using a Renko bar on top of it. So that it is, you're blocking yourself from you are staying in this small circle box and you're not getting anywhere with your trade. And God knows this is reality. So we need the proper tools and the proper education to know on Sunday I don't need to look at Ninja Trader. I need to relax on Ninja. I don't need to use an energy on it. I'll save my energy on Monday, and with our daily stress, we're no longer 18 and 19. We can trade the European and the Asian market and then go back to the US market. We cannot do that anymore. We have, any trader have a couple hours high level in his head to trade. After that, he get exhausted and he start making mistakes. So it is very important on 9 o'clock morning or 9:30 morning to evaluate what's going on in the market, setting up the auto trade the way we need to take a direction, and then manage it. Management is more important than the auto trade itself, how to manage auto trade. Auto trade by itself without manage it is like you're going down the hill with one light and no steering wheel. It's a matter of time before you hit the wall with it. So it is a very serious matter in the trading. It is about money, and you always have to remember, when you are auto trading, your money on the table against somebody else on the table. And the one who did his homework, not because this guy have better auto trade than the other guy, because this guy has more knowledge than this guy. So it is very important, guys, to set up, and when you see there is no trade, there is no trade. Don't force yourself on a trade. Yeah, and if it's 11 o'clock, you cannot find a trade. It's better to stay away from the trade than to lose a trade and that costs you 200. Again, guys, one small mistake every day, 200, that's $50,000 a year. Most of you have around $5,000, and very 50% they have $5,000 in their account. So the $200 losing trade, it does matter to this person not to lose it. And be stingy with your trade. Do not jump on any kind of trade until you understand that trade is going to go well for you and the probability is much higher. The communication between you and the chart is more important than anything else. And once we start evaluating where we are before we use our money, like anything else in this life, if you have experience to go with your wife to shopping center, she don't go to a shop and buy the first dress she sees until you start your brain and your legs cannot walk anymore, and then maybe she will find something or not. And the same thing here. You do not just turn on the auto trade at 9:30 and evaluate. Be stingy with your trade. Be stingy with activating your life account, and be stingy and make decision before you let that auto trade, whatever that auto trade coming from, before you let it go and take in a live trade. Look at the chart, kick the tires, check up your oil, check up your water. That's what you do when you go on a car trip. And the same thing here. Before I want to give this guy $200 today out of my account, I want to know where I'm going with this trade. I want to know if this ES is taking a trade here. Where is my destination on that trade? Is it worth it? And the amount of an amateur people come in, think, and it's not their fault. It's not. It's because what they have seen in commercial and marketing, that when they hear somebody, he can turn their $1,000 to $50,000 a month, so they start believing in that, and then they start want to react to some kind of commercial somewhere where he can get you rich in 1 month, and they want to react on what he says, and then they bump into thick wall, and then this is the aggravation start, and because of his knowledge, he thinks could be the platform or could be the trading software he's using, they're not responding to his dreams, and then he starts getting upset. But the reality is in the trading, folks, and this is no lie, the reality in the trading, you gotta see some light bulbs in your life before you start respecting the market. You're gonna be hit with a lot of light bulbs, and before you start respecting the market. If you don't respect the market is not gonna respect you back. You have to respect it what the ES is doing, and you cannot come and crisscross with him. If this ES have a limitation today, that means it has a limitation. And as we see here, from 10 o'clock and now is 11:12, we stay on a short trade, and we never called one long trade on the ES. Not even one long trade. We had one long trade on the Nasdaq and it fell, and we have explained to you why the one trade on the Nasdaq fell to go long, and I closed it immediately because of that. So what we have seen from 10 o'clock until now, it is nothing but short trade on the ES, and whoever is auto trading right now, and any auto trade took a long trade, lost that trade on the ES, lost it. And that it does hurt for this guy have a limited amount of money or a limited knowledge. So again, guys, for your own safety, let me show you an example, because I didn't want to bring a charts today and just look at PNL. This is the TI7 auto trade, and I don't want to look at the PNL. I don't want to look at the PNL. I want to show you what we have said. And this one here, it is a 3 minutes, is a very serious chart. It's not a simple chart, and this is no Renko bar and a line break and all this nonsense. Because now we understood what happened on the ES today. We understood what happened on the ES. If we notice here, all the trades on the ES, and it is a scalping. It is a scalping, and you can see the auto trade was struggling today on taking a trade, because what happened when you are using an auto trade needs a bar or two to confirm. And when the ES gets stuck between a resistance and a support area and not a trending, by the time the auto trade taken short, the market turn around, and then the auto trade close that position, and then want to go long, then the market turn around against him. It's not your auto trade, it is identify where this ES it is going, so we can see if this trade is going to be a successful trade or is going to be a disaster trade. As we see here on the ES, to translate what we are looking at, the ES it is on the short is going back to the resistance line at 39.10.25, and it's gonna go back and trying to break those area. Now it is 11:15. Most likely by 12 o'clock we will be hitting the target, or we're gonna be hitting the 39.03, and there is only one direction. But here is what it is. It is a short. The auto trade is taken short. It is the proper direction, but also it is a scalping ES, and we need to break even we need to have a trailing stop, and we need to have a stop loss. So I cannot uh, uh, take that trailing stop backward and increase my risk in the trade, and I'm forced to close that trade on a break even, a plus one take or two takes, because I cannot afford to have a wild short trade, and it could be the market turning around, and then it's going to be against me, and that is going to cost me a lot of money. So even sometimes when your auto trade is going to the proper direction, it is short, but the resistance line is 39.10, and between me and the resistance line there is a half a point right there, because it is a break even. The auto trade took it right at the fib line. I broke even, couple takes is no dangerous anymore for me, and then this is the auto trade put a break even, a plus two takes. There is nothing I can do. If this market break down, it will be $1,000 trade. If this market go back onto the support resistant area, I will walk away with two ticks, just barely to cover the commission for the broker. So it's not the P&L here. Again, gentlemen, don't look at your P&L, look at your bar, and when you are taking a trade, trying to see whatever chart you have, whether it's from our system or somebody else's system, trying to understand where the probability you're gonna have money on that trade or not. So in case if we are looking at the ES 3 minutes and we are in the right direction, it is a beautiful entry, but it is a matter of survival, that trade. Now the problem is on that trade, it is this projection 39.0675. If this market break that area, I'm gonna breathe more, and then I will be dealing with 39.05. If we break the 39.05, I need to deal with 39.03, and then I can maximize my auto trades profit and secure profit. So now if we look at it, now I understand what is my auto trade doing. Now I understand if this auto trade make $200 or $2,000 or down $200, I know why and how. It's not, we cannot say, oh, the auto trade did not make money or the auto trade made money. No, your auto trade is just a mechanical trading. Your auto trade, whether it's from us or somebody else, it is a mechanical trading, and we have to understand the basic of trading. So now we are on an auto trade called Banana Automated Trade. And now we are coming here, whether it's my auto trade or somebody else auto trade, we are coming to the support auto trade at 39.0675. I have $250 on that trade. No matter how much we optimize, no matter what kind of auto trade we have, it is a matter of this ES is going to break that area or not. If this ES break that area, we are going from $250 a trade to $500 trade. If we break that area, we are going from $500 trade to $1,000 trade. And it is all depends on the market movement and the performance on that trade. I don't want to complicate it. The performance on that trade is going to be depend on the market movement, is not the auto trade itself. Because that's what you hear. What is the percentage? There is no percentage. If this market, as we see here on the ES is really stand still here at 39.0675, and you cannot do anything about it. Whether you are using an ATR auto trade, TI7, or a MACD auto trade, is the same problem, is the same level, and has nothing to do with your auto trade. And that's why before we used to give templates to an auto trade, and now I refuse to give templates, because I want this trader to open the auto trade and force him to optimize. And I want to teach him, and I have taught, and I have put many hours on a recorded webinars, and then and I made it clear in the webinar, I'm not going to share my template. I will optimize the auto trade in front of you. I will show you the numbers and you can copy those numbers, but I'm not going to send you the template. I want you to open. I want to force this trader, not because I'm mean, because I want him to open that auto trade. I want him to go into the filter. I want him to put the proper numbers, because maybe something will stay in his head. When he go ahead and put 10 ticks of stop loss on an ES or 15 ticks of stop loss, he will remember that. I don't want to give my trader any longer template, because template, I can optimize this ES and I can send out this template. But if you don't modify this template after 1 month, 2 months, will fall behind. And then this guy is asking me to give him another template. Maybe I can, maybe I'm busy. But when we teach the trader how to optimize, he don't need me anymore. I don't want to hold his hands the rest of my life. I want him to learn. Now, if somebody gets their feeling hurt, that's life. But I don't want to give this trader template. I want him to make his own template. I want him to put it and understand, because I want him to be by himself. I don't want him to be relying on me the rest of his life and hold his hands. I don't want to hold anyone's hands. And this is for his own safety, to understand the difference. Now, sometimes in the webinar, I made it clear on Monday, like, I'm not going to give you a template. You follow me on the optimization. And then we do that. And then at the end, Sam, just go ahead, send it to me. I don't feel like want to open. And I say, no, I'm not going to send you the template, because the other people has followed me in the room. And I teach how to optimize. And you need to learn how to optimize. I don't want to hand you out a template. Or sometimes we get an email, Sam, send me the best template you have. I mean, what are we selling, potatoes or tomatoes here? Send me the best template you have. I mean, if you don't maintain this template on any auto trade, you're gonna fall behind. So templates are good, but you need to optimize it. You need to learn how and how the auto trade function. Why that auto trade, doesn't matter where this auto trade coming from. Why today made me 1,000 and the same setting on Tuesday I lost 1,000. We need to understand, when I'm trying to optimize, I'm not looking at the P&L, which I will be covering. As I said, I will be covering, but not today. I will cover the disaster trading behind the Renko bar, which a lot of people think is a great. And I don't have time to do it today, but I will cover and show you the fact that Renko bars are fake numbers. When I'm trying to optimize, I don't want it to look at the P&L. I want to see where is the losing trade, so I can avoid that auto trade to make the same mistake. The auto trade is supposed to make money. I'm not trying to make the profit factor because I have a Renko bar to 6.0 and 7.0. I can do that on a Renko bar, but it's not real. But when I'm putting it on the minute, when I see a bad trade here, this is a couple $100 trade, I want to go back on the auto trade to see how can avoid that. I need to understand why I should give $200 on a lousy losing trade. I want to avoid that. Maybe I need to add filter. Maybe I need to disconnect filter. Maybe I need to re-optimize the entry. And it takes just 5 minutes on the weekend, because I give another solution to our traders, how you can maintain it without doing any optimization on any template. You can maintain it. It takes you 5 minutes without doing any optimization. So again, if we look at that trade, those are not fake numbers. Those are real numbers here, by the way, not like some other ones. On that trade was $250 in the profit, went down to $275. and now we close on $50. Okay? Is it the auto trade bad? Is it the auto trade really made me $50? Or the auto trade went up to $300 because of here, and it go back. It did go back, and it closed me down at $50. So this is the question is, did the auto trade made $300 or the auto trade made $50? Why? Whether you are trading ATR, MACD, TI7, scalper, we have an institutional auto trade, we have a reversal auto trade, they're all gonna end up the same. If they are taken short and it was a support area and a comeback, is all about your break even a plus one tick. It's not gonna change the fact. And whether you are auto trading or not, whether you are a manual trading or not, it's not the auto trade performance. It is not the auto trade performance, because that's what you hear about amateur trading. Is the auto trade made me money today? The auto trade did not make, which is a very wrong language. It's a very naive language, because I can say I made $50 on that auto trade because I got bumped into 39.0675, and the market did not go through. Could have been $1,000 trade, but I wind up with a $50. This is how you say it as an educated person, and then as a naive trader, want to get rich overnight. He will say the auto trade is a lousy auto trade and made me only $50. He will forget to say, I did not look at the chart. You ask him why the auto trade made 50. I don't know. Why yesterday that auto trade locked $1,000 profit. Today that auto trade did not lock $1,000. Why? I don't know. Okay, well, I need to know if I lose $1,000 today. I want to know how I lost it. If I lose $200, I want to know why I lost $200. I will not say, oh, well, because of bad weather. I want to know why and how I can avoid losing this $200 again on Wednesday night or on Thursday night or on Friday morning. I want to know how I can avoid this $200 losing trade. This is the person wanted to go forward, and it is the trader management and knowledge. This is where it counts, whether we like it or not. And as we see right now on the ES, there is nothing except pullback re-entry short. Look at this. From when we started from 10 o'clock until now, it's nothing, it's just a pullback re-entry. Believe it or not, folks, we have those buttons now for over 11, 12 years on the top. Believe me or not, for the last 11 years, for the last 11, 12 years, we only have, out of all the traders we only have 2 or 3 clients use the button on the auto trade. In 11 years, we have 3 gentlemen use the buttons on an auto trade. What is those buttons about? As we see here, the market is short from 10 o'clock, pullback, re-entry short, pullback, re-entry short. And now we know, because I have explained it. On this auto trade, all what you have to say, we look here, there is another bumper here. The ES is not going to go long, not now. It's going to be pullback, re-entry. If he's going to break that area, he's going to be on that area 39.12. So before we waste our weekends and have a miserable weekends and sit down on optimization, now we recognize it's only short trade in here. Then all what you have to do, Ponton, the auto trade, to take short only. And if you notice when you push the button, Now it is in red. And when you push the button, come in the kind color, telling this auto trade take short only. So optimization, it is some kind of blindfolded trader, but also God gave us a brain to have a little knowledge, and we can set up this auto trade without even optimization if you have a little background. And you can trade ES, Nasdaq, Dow Jones, CL without exhaust your brain by looking at the chart and say, well, this is not a long right now. I'm going to pump in only short trade, and then the auto trade is going to only take a short trade. If you think the market is going in a sideway and there is no trade, it's a very easy. We can put it on pause here, and then you take a break from it. The auto trade keep working, but will not take a trade, because now we can see there is no gaps, there is no trades, or there is a flat market volatility. I want to hold that auto trade for 5-10 minutes. I want to go make coffee. I want to go to the supermarket. The wife told me to do something. I can pause it and come back to whatever. And now when I am back, I can see if we see $275 into the profit, and we can see the ES is not going any farther, we can close position. If now the market to break that area, I can go ahead and tell this auto trade to go long only. I can direct, I can be a manager. I don't have to be a trader. I can be a manager, managing my trades without being exhausted and without even using motions in it. But I mean, if we want it, let me give you an example. I'm going to say on the ES, I will find something on the ES or on the Nasdaq, one of those, or CL. Okay, here is a Nasdaq. And I'm going to evaluate. And by the way, this one here, because this line, this template, it was made by a gentleman named Daniel from Israel. And he sent it to me. I was testing it for him. And yesterday, this template, I don't know if Danielle is online right now. Yesterday, I was testing it for him. I sent him a message yesterday. I told him don't even mess with it. And it is Danielle work template on this. It's not my template. And the first trade I did on this nailed 1380 yesterday. I said, oh, it could be an accident, Then I reloaded again, nailed another, almost the same amount of money one more time. And the profit factor is amazing on it. And let me show you his work. And that guy, he's a normal trader. He's very nice, normal trader. But the guy went head to head with optimization, and he likes to get my template. And when he asked for my template, I told him, I want you to make your own. I'm not going to give you my template after the webinar. And he didn't say anything. He went the hard way, looked at the webinar, understood how to optimize, and that's his work. So by denying a template to customer, not trying to be mean, because it's like when we have children and sometimes we press our love to them to raise them, when um, so and the same thing here. I don't want to. If I give him the template to Danielle, he would never learn how to optimize. And that guy, half this Nasdaq is almost nailing $1,000 a day on the Nasdaq because I forced him to optimize his own chart. Another guy got his feeling hurt, and I said you need to learn, and he never went back to optimization, and that it is his right. But he should not get mad at me and say Sam does not share with me, because I don't want to share a template with him, because I want to force him to learn. And we have a plenty traders like Danielle from Israel, and I forced them to do the optimization, and it paid off. And for the guy want to auto trade and he doesn't want to do his own optimization, he don't deserve to make money, And this is the way how I look at it. You have to earn your money, and I mean, it is amazing job this guy did. Also, I still have a template from Patel. I have another template, and they are doing very well. They've been around for a couple of 3 months, those templates. And I forced those guys to do it. Another things I did force the guys to do is we never shared this on a YouTube, and a market analyzer. On this market analyzer, I made one for myself, but when we showed the people how to make it, half of the traders went ahead and did it by themselves, and the other half, they refused to do it by themselves, and they stayed without it. And what we have showed, Danielle, one of them, made his own template as well. What we have done, we made, there is another, this one I never shared it on YouTube, which probably is not complete yet, or maybe it's complete. What we did something here on a webinar that on this market analyzer, we can measure the 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. And when they are in the same direction, you have a trade. So this is the same market analyzer as this one here. And then when they, they're just maybe 10% lazy people. Like when you go to any class, when you go to any class, when we were in the class, and you are studying math, you have an excellent student, and you have a lousy student, and you have some students in between. It's the same class, the same teacher. One guy will get it and one guy will not, and we cannot crisscross everyone. So we showed how to do that. Within 20 minutes, I had 10, 15 people send me their templates. They did it. The other ones, they asked me to send them the template from those guys. Those 10%, they don't want to do anything. And I said, no. And I said, I don't want to be mean to you, but that trader did his homework. You did not. Why should I give you the trader homework? And believe me or not, I didn't want to reveal this, it's by accident. Believe me or not, once we are done with this YouTube, I will have 10 people wanted Danielle template on the Nasdaq. And guess what? I'm going to say no to them. And I'm not going to give Danielle work, the guy from Israel, to another guy sitting in England, doesn't want to do anything, or in California, or in New York. The guy put all his night to work on this one here. He worked hard on it, and I'm not gonna share Danielle work with Tom or Mike or anyone. This is his work, and I have to protect it. So I'm very proud of this guy, and he did very well on this. So yes, I have some people get mad at me, but I need to clarify. I'm not trying to be mean, but why should I give somebody else work to another guy doesn't want to do his homework? You know, it's like when we are sitting in the class, one guy went on the weekend and studied the whole weekend. Another guy came in and he says, "Give me a copy of your work," and this is not right. He has to do his homework. You know, so I guarantee you, once we are done today with the YouTube, I will have 10 people wanted Danielle template. And guess what? Over my dead body if they will have it. Because this guy worked hard. I can see he worked hard. With the trailing stop loss, is so accurate to start at 9:30. It is nailing $1,400 a day. And why should I give it to another trader? He's not willing to. And look at those trailing stop, how he did it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. He's already, you know, when a guy do things like this, is irrelevant if you have $1,000 account. You know, it's irrelevant if you have $1 million account. It's irrelevant if you have $10,000 account. A guy like this, he force you to respect him. A guy like this, he can force you to respect him. And there is no other way. But when a guy wanted to steal somebody else's homework, I have no respect for him. Honestly. And yes, I can snap at him because this is not fair. So you have some traders, they force their respect on everyone. And you have some traders, they just want to get away with everything. And this is not going to happen. So anyway, to cut the story short, if I'm on a trade, now on the Danielle trade here, it is already made. Those are not fake numbers. Those are 495 into the trade, and he still have $225 out. And Danielle, my compliment, man. You know, I mean, this is really a lot of respect for you on that. So now I want to evaluate if I, what should I do with that trade? Okay. Now, if we look at this NASDAQ, again, the NASDAQ broke that area here, and it seems like it's going to go to the 1375.75. If this ES, like what we have talked about, gentlemen, before, if this ES break that area here, this means we have a potential for another $1,000 in here. It's not just forcing the trade down, it is also increase the profit. Even Danielle has made the optimization, and he did a perfect job. Probably he did better job because he had time to do that. Anyway, I can see if this ES a break here, two things we can do to this NASDAQ. And a lot of people reject that. They don't want to mess with the auto trade for many reasons. I don't want to get into it. If this ES break the 39.13.25, he already 495 and 245. He's already $600-700 in that trade. He smoked any trader that's been around for over 10 years because he took his time and optimized. That's all what it is. He can outsmoke any trader out there because he did the optimization and he set up the auto trade. And I forced him to do it, and it paid off for him, not for me. When he make $5,000 or $1,000 on the NASDAQ, he's, believe me or not, he's not going to give me $1 from it. But I'm happy for him. So when a guy knows how to optimize and how to control an auto trade, how to manage an auto trade for him, not for me. So here it is. He have around $600-700. I want to evaluate what should I do. Should I close? Should I stay on that trade? And I'm already in the profit on the trailing stop. So I'm on my way to winning. If this ES break that number, there is a good potential I will break another $1,000 on that trade. If this ES fell, I can immediately go on the top and close position and secure $220 plus $495. I will walk away with $700. If this ES break that area, look, it's the same thing happened today, earlier today, folks. When we called the Nasdaq for you and we told you if the ES not gonna able, it's gonna sink again, and it did exactly the same. You know, the market is not hard to understand. It just needs to practice. That's it. You don't need anyone. You don't need to pay anyone. And if I'm telling you to pay me money, I can understand there is something for it for me. But when I'm busting my mouth here and trying to give you free education here, I have no bread with you. So here is the support area. If this ES is going to sink below those double support area, that means I will be forced to close right there. If this market holding, and look, now the market start going, and I'm gonna close position. Now it takes millisecond to close position, and here's a $630. It's not the auto trade performance. If the ES broke that area, oh, Daniel is online. Thank you, Daniel. My compliment, man, on this. Really, my compliment on it. Thank you, Daniel. And you know, when you see a guy like this work hard, and when he requests support, I run to him. When a guy calling us to change his time frame from 15 seconds to 1 minute, I'll put him on the last one on the list to support him for that day. You know, but when a guy when a guy is doing well, he's the first one gets served because this guy is doing well. When a guy is waiting 1 hour to come and change the time frame on a chart, he will be the last one in line. And it's not evaluate people by their money or where they're from. No, we evaluate people by if they are real traders or not, if they are really willing to work or not. That's how we evaluate. Despite whatever country you're from, your color, your religion, has nothing to do with the trading. It's become irrelevant. Actually, traders, they don't have time for this. Whether you are a black, white, or yellow is irrelevant. You know, we have customers from Saudi Arabia and we have customers from Israel, and it doesn't matter. One guy work, we respect him. One guy don't work, we don't respect him. You know, so on this one here, if this ES broke, that would have been $1,000 trade on this one. So here's the question: is it the auto trade, the performance made 630, or is it the guy is managing the auto trade? That's the question. So the percentage on the auto trade, it cannot be blind. If this one here, the percentage on it 60%, 70%, 80%, and if you don't manage it, his percentage drops. If you manage it, you can go up to 80% and 90%. When you are controlling the auto trade, there is no percentage. You can optimize it. It can give you percentage 75, 80%, 85%, 50%. But the other percentage depends how you are controlling the auto trade. And as we look here, the way we close it is because it's not the auto trade. If we look at the bars here, if you notice where we have closed that trade, Even if this guy, Danielle, maybe spent the whole weekend on it, we maximize our profit on it because we are educated. And look, so if you have two people using the same Danielle chart, the same template, does not mean they will have the same profit. Probably one guy is going to end up with $1,000 down with the same template, and another guy can walk away with $600-700, and they are using the same time frame and the same template, the same chart. One guy have a steering wheel, another guy he just hitting the wall with no steering wheel. That's it, you know. So yes, it is the customer or it is the trader. He has to be in charge with his money, and he is the one. He has to earn his money and protect his money. It's not the auto trade magic. The auto trades is nothing but a mechanical automated trade, like an airplane, like anything. And you have to be captain on this airplane. You don't just fly an airplane because you know where is the switch on an autopilot. That will not qualify you to be a pilot. And as you here, if you want to auto trade, and you just show you where is the autopilot, and you take care of it. And when there is a disaster, you don't know what to do. It's the same thing. You have to understand you need to be captain on your chart. Because would you fly an airplane by showing you where is the switch on an autopilot? Would you fly it? Would you auto trade without knowing what's going on? You just showing you where to switch on and off? Really? So, folks, so this is a problem, and I want to make it clear in the public why. When you sit down 2 hours in the webinar and you show a guy and you tell him you put the setting 3, 4, 5, you put this setting, blah, 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 and here is the numbers. After the optimization, you take this number and you put it on your chart. And the guy refused to take those numbers and put them on his chart. He just wants me to send him a template. He will not even click on the chart. And I refuse to do that. So am I a bad guy? Or I am trying to teach him to learn the market or learn how to feed the auto trade to make money on the auto trade. So, you know, it's like when you have a kid and trying to raise him, and it's a bad daddy because he's picking on him. And you are trying to teach him that you need to learn yourself how to trade, and it should not be silver spoon for you. And here, sir, here is a template on a silver platter. Just get rid of him. No, I will fight with him, and I will tell him, you need to learn how to optimize. You need to learn how to take care of your trade, because I want you to be on your own. And you don't need anyone holding your hands. You're a grown man. And that it is, I will not give up that, because I'm hurting this guy by giving him a template and not him learning. So you can look at it on both of direction, but I will not sit down in a webinar like now. My throats are hurting me 2 hours nonstop, trying to teach a guy how to optimize, trying to teach him and give him the numbers, and he refused to put it on his chart. I'm not going to feel sorry for him. He don't deserve to be a trader anyway. So, yes, I'm hard on that. So now, as we see here, in this industry, you are on your own. If you don't learn it, like what they say. I mean, you don't. I don't want to give you fish every day. I want you to learn how to catch your own fish, and this is exactly what we want the traders to learn how to do their optimization, to learn how to adjust the auto trade, so they don't have to hear a beep from me, And as we see this on this auto trade, this is the same auto trade we were using a few minutes ago, and this is the YM, and this is the ES. So if we are looking at this auto trade, as we see here, we are coming to this projection at 39.0675. And then, as we said 2 hours ago, this is probably the final destination for that trade today. Is going to be, if you go back to the video, that's what we said today. Before 12 o'clock, we will be hitting 39.03, and it could be 3900. And this is what we called 2 hours ago when we were on the webinar. And if we survive those double projection, this means I am on a $1,000 performance on the auto trade. If this market not able to break this support area and going down to the 39.03, there is two options on that auto trade. Two options. Either close position, walk away with 300, and has nothing to do with your auto trade performance. It's a perfect entry. When we see the problem on the ES, whether you are auto trading or manual trading, it's the same problem. There is a support area, is irrelevant your P&L, whether it's a $100 or $500. But when the ES sitting here is the trader call to say, I'm walking away, I'm going to close the trade, I'm going to close position, takes me 1 millisecond, I will walk away with $350. Or if this market is going to break, you're going to walk away with $1,000. Or if this market turn around and that support area turn around, you're going to walk away with 2 ticks. It's the same auto trade, the same performance, but the guy who the guy who is driving the auto trade, this is where the performance coming. The auto trade has took the perfect entry here, gentlemen, and it is your call. It is your call to walk away with the 300, 2 ticks, or 1,000. And it is the same auto trade, the same entry. Knowledge, it is making you money in the market. Being lazy in the market, you're going to be paying a high price. You can change auto trades as much as you want. You can buy every auto trade on this earth. You're going to still facing the same problem. The problem is not going to go away by changing auto trade. Of course, there is a lot of lousy auto trades out there. Over 80% they are lousy auto trades. They hide behind Ranko bars and God knows what. But the solution is not the auto trade or buying another auto trade. The solution is learn. Knowledge in the market. Give me guy have $5,000 with knowledge. I can deal with him. I can make him a trader. Give me guy have $50,000, has no knowledge. He's a disaster trader, and I cannot get anything through his head. And it's not the amount of money, because this is a very popular question. How much you think, Sam, I need? The first things I say, what do you know about the market? Because if you have $50,000, does not qualify you to buy an auto trade and start trading if you don't have knowledge. You're going to waste it all. And if you have a $5,000, you've been hit before, now you start respecting the market. And I'm not telling you that I will not allow myself for anyone that have called me for the last 10 years direct. I will not allow myself to tell him, oh yeah, you're going to be fine, just buy the auto trade. I cannot allow myself. I cannot. I will not. And I'll tell him, it all depends how you wanted to, how much you know about trading, how much you are willing to learn. It's not about auto trading. It's about how to manage the auto trade. And you have to be captain on your auto trade, like a guy on an airplane. You don't just show him the switch on an autopilot and tell him go ahead and fly. You don't do that. And here you need to learn. And there is no way out of it. I wish I would have given it and saved myself a lot of headaches and trouble as well, So now the ES is going to try to probably retest the 3906. If this ES trying to retest the 3906 and he broke it, we are on a $1,000 trade. And if the ES not able, we're going to walk away with a plus 2 ticks. As simple as that. And it is always up to the trader to evaluate, I'm so dry, to evaluate his position. The trader has to evaluate where he is in the market. Whether you are auto trading or you are a manual trading, evaluation, it is where we are in the market. And even when you are in a disaster trade, you have to evaluate your option, how to get out of it as less a headache as so everything is about evaluation, how you want it to measure what you want in the market, and you make a decision. Auto trade by itself does not work. For us in 2021, our brain is no longer functional to take a manual trade. But when you are combining knowledge and auto trade, you will have a much better life. It will be much pleasant to trade because you are in control, not the market is controlling you. So now if we are looking here at this auto trade, the ES is going to retest the 39.0675, and probably this is the final decision to make. Either this market able to break the 39.0675, or the market is gonna go back, which there is no trade. But for the traders, because now we are way above our time, it's going to be a re-entry point on the ES to take a short at 39.1100. This is a short. If you want to take it, you take it on a sim. We're not responsible for your trade. And so there is another entry on the ES, and there is no long trade. So as we look at this auto trade, now we have a $150. Few seconds we had $300, and it is option for that trader to evaluate what he want to do. You want to take your money off the table and run? You want to stay playing a blackjack? Or and there we go. Now the first trade, it was $50. It's the same chart. And also we had $350. Now on that trade, we had $350 and we smoked them all. So if we look on the previous trade and that trade, if we close the position on the fib line, we walked away with $700 on the ES because we have not done anything and we have not override the auto trade. On the last trade, we made 50, and this one here is going to be another 50. So probably it will be $100. And we will see the numbers once this number closed. And it closed. And as we see on two trades, we only made $100, where this auto trade was all the way down to $350 into profit on two times. Two times was 700, and not interfering with the auto trade, we walk away with 100 plus commission and maybe slippage. So, and as we said, we called it for you. We told you it's going to be here a pullback re-entry on the sim, and this is exactly what happened. And it did exactly what we have said from 10 o'clock to now. And once you start acknowledging the market, you will find it also. It is a pleasure to be behind the screen because you know yourself. You are above anybody else with the trading because you are looking at the market differently. And you are more relaxed with yourself, and you consider yourself you are superior in the trading. and then it's become more enjoyable. But when you are at the mercy of the market, you're no longer superior. You're just a worker. You're not a manager. You're a worker with hands. you know but you can feel it when you are have the knowledge. You can feel it when you are trading it, and it become a challenge, and you become master with it. You can control it the way you want it, and because you are in control with the trade, and the trading is not in control with on you. You never let the market control you. You control the market, and you set your goals, and you set your number, and you take an action on what you have drawn in the morning. That's what you do. And then you feel superior when you are trading, and enjoyable. So we know it was here a re-entry. We know if we are taking that re-entry, final destination is 39. We know when to enter and when to exit. You don't just blow on it. you know, Maybe we'll go up a couple more ticks so I can lock. No, you don't blow on it. You just look at it, and you already, when you are in a trade, you just, where is your exit, you know your risk, and then you go act on it. So now, the last one we called for you here at 39.10, and now it is coming down, is 12.07, and it is coming again to the 39.06. So when we call that trade for you, we're telling you this is your destination, and then you get the maximize out of it. If you are more clever, you put a break even, and if this market break down, this means you are on a $1,000 trade. And that is the secret in the trading, to stay distance from the market price, secure some of your profit, and allow this market to go back and forth, so we don't have to jump on the wagon again and take another trade. Every time we take a trade, there is a high risk with our account. So what we need to hit it like a sniper, one trade and one target, and hit it to the max, walk away, and get it over with. And we should not sit and yapping all day long about long, short, short, long. This is the way you need to look at the market. And as we see here on the ES, we are at the 39.0675, and we called that last trade for you. If the market is to stay here, you can close the trade. And if the market want to decide to go down, which is going to go down, that means you are in the trade. And now there is a potential. Once we cross the 39.04, you are on $1,000 trade. So for a guy is sitting all day long trying to jump on the trade, now it's 12.08. This is the best trade he will ever have for today, if he was patient enough. So always, always, when you are trading, it's like you are sitting as a hunter. You sit down, you wait, you hunt, you get your beef, and go. And that's how it is. Gentlemen, I'm really dried out, and I want to say thank you very much, Danielle. I really appreciate sharing your template with us, and I think you have sent me 2 templates, but I think, as I see, just one. If you have another template, I'll be more than glad also to look at it for you. And I want to say thank you very much. Be safe, and hopefully tomorrow, if we're not busy, I will be on live tomorrow on the YouTube. Thank you.